You're tuned into Visions, a business and community affairs program designed to encourage and promote entrepreneurship in Central Alabama.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Vision. Cedric Vaughner, excited about our guest today and our subject matter, talking about the A.G. Gaston Conference coming up this week. Our guest today is Amelia Thomas, and she's with the conference, and she's going to tell us about it. Ms. Thomas, thanks for being here with us on the program.
Thank you for having us.
Very excited. I've been to this conference several times, and it is fantastic. Great networking opportunity, great empowerment opportunity, great learning opportunity.
Absolutely.
And so Mr. Dickinson had the vision. Of course, this show is about vision and putting that in motion. And so tell us about Mr. Dickinson and why the A.G. Gaston came about and who was A.G. Gaston to him.
Sure. So Bob Dickinson is an amazing man out of Birmingham, Alabama, very much in full support of helping entrepreneurs succeed. He used to work for A.G. Gaston at a bank, and they grew a very, very close relationship. And upon his passing, he wanted to help carry his legacy forward. So he started this conference, and as you stated, it is in its 12th year, and we're looking very forward to the dynamic speakers that we have on the program this year.
Well, and we want to talk about those speakers, but we've actually got a photo of Mr. Gaston, the legendary A.G. Gaston. We're going to try to see if we can find that. But we've also got on the set, we've got a book about Mr. Gaston, and it's called Black Titan, and it's called A.G. Gaston and the Making of a Black American Millionaire. Just a really great story, written by his niece, and so it's really good book about the life and times of A.G. Gaston, and so we want to be able to show that to our viewers. Economic empowerment through enterprise development. This conference is really focusing on building businesses, and so we really want to learn in our community how to build businesses and the strategies that it takes, and that's really what this conference is about.
That is correct. So A.G. Gaston himself, he was a millionaire. He owned several businesses, all the way from banks, insurance companies, a few other businesses, and at one point amassed over $150 million in terms of wealth. So this conference is really to highlight and strengthen those things that made him successful. Of course, we tailor it to the times that we live in today, helping our entrepreneurs succeed. So we have a lot of different sessions that are focused specifically on the entrepreneurs, and of course the speakers. We have actual entrepreneurs on the program to help us engage our audience and give them the tools that they need to continue to grow their businesses.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I'll tell you what, we've also got the website. I think we're trying to find that website. We're going to see if we can go to that. Just so you can get an overview of what that looks like. So on the screen now, for those who may be watching, if you go to aggastonconference.com, you'll just be able to see it's very comprehensive. Mr. Dickinson has the sponsors and partners who've been working with him over the last 12 years. But Amelia, two of your guests on the conference are people who we've actually had on the Visions program. One is Mark Peterson, who's MBA, Dartmouth grad, who is from Selma, working on a great entrepreneurial project in Selma. The other guest that we've also had here on the program is the legendary Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, author of the Wealth Choice. And so when people come to this conference, they'll see Dr. Kimbrough, they'll see Mark Morrell, Dr. Juliet Walker. I believe she's out of the University of Texas, I believe.
Yes, at Austin.
Mr. Mark Morrell, who I just found is actually a lawyer by training.
Dr. Gravely.
And Dr. Melvin Gravely.
Yes.
So it's power packed.
I mean, phenomenal cast.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenal. When you think about the actual entrepreneurs, we have, of course, Mark Stevenson.
Mark Peterson.
Mark Peterson, yes. Who sold businesses in the millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. And Dr. Mel Gravely, also a very prominent entrepreneur on staff on the conference. And then we have Mark Morrell, CEO of the National Urban League.
That's right.
The four leading thought think tank for entrepreneur civil rights organization of today's time. So
right.
we're really, really excited about
Yeah.
the individuals who we have speaking at the conference.
Really great information. Now, so when we talk about this conference, what would you say for those people who believe that this is another conference? What would you say is the need for a conference of this type?
Well, although it is 2016, unfortunately, we still are saying this is the first time an African American has done this, or the first time, you know, we have ventured into this market. And we just want to help provide the tools and resources to help those entrepreneurs who are looking to scale, expand, and grow their businesses. When you think about the wealth and the statistics of African American businesses, we're talking we're less than 13% of the overall population of the United States. Yet we own less than 1% of 1/10% of the wealth. And I mean those statistics are just they're just very unfortunate.
That's
when
right.
you think about the amount of talent and caliber that we have in our community. And we have over 2 million businesses in the United States. Less than 200,000 of those businesses have actual employees. In terms of Alabama, you know, we have probably a little bit over 20,000 African American small businesses, but the average revenue for those small businesses in Alabama is less than $29,000 a year, which is significantly lower when you consider the Asian community, which probably has revenue in excess of over 80,000. The Hispanic community has revenue over 50,000, and we're at 29,000. So those statistics alone show the need of why we need a conference such as the A.G. Gaston Conference, so we can give our community the tools and resources that they need to go out and become better entrepreneurs.
That's good. Well, when we talk about capitalism and commerce, we live in a capitalistic society. You know, commerce is paramount in that community, and so the understanding of the development and the growth of commerce and capitalism is a very important skill.
Absolutely. And, you know, organizations such as the one that Bob runs in Birmingham is another entrepreneur support organization that is there to assist our entrepreneurs with gaining the assets, the capital that they need to scale, expand, and grow, and hopefully go out and, you know, work on mergers and acquisitions to build larger firms. But again, it takes entrepreneur support organizations like that to be able to succeed.
So it's one thing to open the business, but then it's another to be able to scale and to grow.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the speakers that we have on the program will definitely be talking about that, because again, we don't need to stay stagnant. We need to be able to move. We need to be able to adjust with the times, and we need to be able to continue to provide jobs for our community. And the only way to do that is if we're able to scale.
Now, speaking of scaling, now I understand, I believe that the majority of particularly businesses in the African American community are one man, one woman owned operations. And so when you talk about scaling, that's what you're meaning is how to grow. How to
grow, how to maybe add 2 or 3 employees to your organization to help you continue to function. And don't get me wrong, I mean, we have a number of successful African American businesses who only have 1 or 2 employees, or maybe it's just only has a sole employee. However, we do want to help provide the resources for those organizations that do want to scale who cannot get those resources in the traditional marketplace.
Now, when we talk about affecting the unemployment rate for those businesses that may only have 1 or 2 employees, one of the best ways that we can positively affect the unemployment rate is that these businesses are able to scale.
That's correct.
And they're able to grow to be able to add employees.
That's correct. I think there is a very large misconception that big businesses create the most employment opportunities, and that's not correct. It's small businesses that create the most employment opportunities. So in terms of helping to lower the unemployment rate in the African American community, our small businesses need to be able to create jobs so we can employ those individuals to come and work for us.
And one of the reasons for this conference and Bob focusing on Mr. A.G. Gaston was because Mr. Gaston employed hundreds, and I believe that he died, passed away, I believe it was 1996, but he employed hundreds of people, gave them opportunity to have a livelihood to support their family. And so this conference is designed with him in mind, that we're able to currently do the same type thing.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah. Well, we're very, very excited. We want to encourage you to go to the website aggastonconference.com. Of course, Mr. Dickerson has been doing legendary work in our community for years and years, and we're just really excited. He has a tremendous, great partners and sponsors, and so now, Ms. Thomas, I see the theme there is actually a theme for the conference. Theme for the conference is Black Business in America: Capitalism, Race, and Entrepreneurship. What does that theme say to you? Is what people should expect?
Again, we're going to be talking about a number of topics. Capitalism, raising capital, working capital, of course, would be amongst those topics, because that is one of the most significant barriers to entry or barriers to scaling that we have. Lack of access to capital. Of course, we need to create more entrepreneurship in our communities. And of course, we are not in a post-racial society. And unfortunately, anyone that spends any amount of time on any social media site can probably see the times that we do live in. And given that African Americans are literally at the bottom of all of the statistics, no matter whether it comes to entrepreneurship, wealth generation, academics, we tend to be at the lower half, yet we're 13% of the population. When you have other minority groups who are exceeding us in those categories. So again, this conference is really here to help strengthen and help support the entrepreneurs and let them know what other resources that they have that they may not be aware of, so they can take advantage of those and help, again, continue to grow their business.
Okay. All right, real good. Well, Ms. Thomas, we really appreciate it. Once again, we want to encourage our viewers to attend and to contact the A.G. Gaston Conference, the website and contact information that is on your screen. Tremendous number of speakers are going to be great. Ms. Thomas, we want to say thank you for coming to be with us on the program.
Thank
Great
you for
job
inviting
today.
us.
Mr. Dickerson, who is in the studio today with us, we want to say thanks for coming down to be with us. Very excited about this conference. It's going to be tremendous, so please take advantage of the opportunity. That's going to do it for us on this segment of Visions. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.